In the great kingdom of Reby, a land rich with vast savannas, rolling hills, and rivers that sparkled under the golden sun, there lived a young prince named Jabari. Born into royalty, he had never known hardship, and yet something inside him felt incomplete. From the towering walls of the palace, he would often watch the villagers as they went about their daily lives, wondering what it felt like to live without luxury, to work with one's hands, and to struggle for survival. Jabari's father, King Kwame, was a strong and wise ruler who loved his people. However, he was also strict, expecting his son to follow the traditions of their ancestors and prepare for his future as king. He was constantly surrounded by advisors, warriors, and noblemen who treated Jabari with reverence. Yet deep down, Jabari longed to experience life beyond the palace gates, to understand the people he would one day rule. He knew that wealth and power alone did not make a great king. A great king had to understand his people, their struggles, their joys, and their sorrows. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky blazed with hues of orange and purple, Jabari made a decision that would change his life forever. He would leave the palace in disguise, live among the people, and learn what it truly meant to lead. With the help of his trusted servant, he dressed in simple clothing, hid his royal ornaments, and slipped away under the cover of darkness. Jabari found himself in the bustling village of Nuru, where the air was thick with the scent of roasted maize, sizzling meats, and fresh fruits. He marveled at the sight of children laughing, elders sharing stories, and traders bargaining with spirited voices. The village was alive in a way that the palace had never been. He wandered through the streets, observing how people worked tirelessly, farmers toiling in the fields, fishermen casting their nets, and women weaving colorful baskets. As he explored, Jabari came across an old cocoa farmer named Baba Tunde, who was struggling to carry sacks of harvested cocoa beans. Without hesitation, Jabari offered his help. Baba Tunde, surprised but grateful, accepted, and together they carried the heavy load to the farmer's hut. Seeing the young man's willingness to work, Baba Tunde offered him a place to stay and a job on the farm. Jabari, eager to learn, accepted the offer without revealing his true identity. Days turned into weeks, and Jabari learned the ways of the land. He woke before dawn, plowed the fields, harvested crops, and carried goods to the market. The work was hard and his muscles ached, but for the first time he felt a sense of purpose. The villagers welcomed him, sharing their meals, their laughter, and their wisdom. He learned the value of hard work, humility, and the strength of community. Among the villagers was a young woman named Amina. She was kind-hearted, intelligent, and full of life. She worked tirelessly to support her family, always putting others before herself. Jabari admired her selflessness and began to develop feelings for her, but he knew he could not reveal who he was. Not yet. He wanted Amina to see him for who he was, not as a prince, but as a man willing to work and struggle like everyone else. One evening, as they sat by the river washing clothes, Amina spoke about leadership. She said that a true leader was not one who simply gave orders, but one who understood the struggles of the people and worked alongside them. Her words struck Jabari deeply. He realized that he had spent his life preparing to rule, but had never truly understood the lives of those he would rule over. As time passed, Jabari saw the challenges the villagers faced: unfair taxes, corrupt officials, and a lack of resources. He saw how hard they worked, yet how little they gained. He saw their pain, their frustrations, and their determination to survive, despite the odds. He knew then that he had a responsibility to change things, not just for himself, but for all of Reby. One day, a group of royal guards arrived in the village, searching for the missing prince. The villagers were confused, for they had no idea that the humble farmhand among them was royalty. Jabari knew it was time to return. He bid farewell to Babatunde, Amina, and the others, thanking them for all they had taught him. He promised that he would never forget their kindness and the lessons he had learned. When he returned to the palace, his father was both furious and relieved. King Kwame demanded an explanation, and Jabari told him everything: how he had lived among the people, worked beside them, and learned of their struggles. He spoke of their hardships, their dreams, and their need for a just and compassionate ruler. The king listened, his anger slowly melting into understanding. He saw the change in his son's eyes, the wisdom he had gained, and he knew that Jabari was ready to be the leader Reby needed. Jabari wasted no time in implementing the changes he had envisioned. He worked to lower unfair taxes, ensured fair wages, and punished corrupt officials who exploited the people. He encouraged trade, improved farming techniques, and ensured that every voice was heard. The kingdom flourished under his leadership, and the people, once struggling, now thrived. True to his heart, Jabari returned to Nuru, not as a prince but as a man. He sought out Amina and asked her to stand by his side, not because of his title, but because of the love and respect he had for her. Together they built a better future, one where leadership was based on understanding, compassion, and service. The true measure of a leader is not in power or wealth, but in their willingness to serve and understand their people. Jabari learned that leadership is about humility, hard work, and genuine care for others. Only by walking in the shoes of the people could he truly become a great king. His journey taught him that the strongest rulers are not those who stand above their people, but those who stand beside them.